All right, welcome back with a quick little preview here, this time for both of the Americas. Of course, North America's upper division already had their tiebreakers a few days ago, so this is just going to be including North America's lower divisions tiebreakers, but we'll also be including South America's tiebreakers, which are only going to be taking place in the upper division for this tour. Starting things off, I will say that all of these series are best of threes. These are all strictly head-to-head matchups, no three-way or four-way ties. It is strictly down to a single series. Kicking things off, we have the 6th and 7th place tie between Hokori and NoPing. Hokori had a head-to-head matchup with Lava yesterday in which the loser would have to play against NoPing in these tiebreakers, and Hokori unfortunately lost that, so they find themselves in this scenario. This series kicks off on January 23rd at 3 p.m. Taking a look at their past season here, both teams kind of struggling to get a little bit of consistency in here. Hokori started off by losing their first three, really underperforming. However, they were playing against some pretty top dog teams like Thunder Predator, like Beastcoast, and then once they got those teams out of the way, they started playing against Infamous and SG Esports. They pick up a couple wins, but then since then they've kind of fallen back into their bad patterns, starting to pick up more and more losses, like up against APU King of Kings, and finally, again, like the series I just talked about, Lava. So Hokori really struggling to find that consistency. They're, I'm sure, trying to hope that they have another chance to prove themselves in this upper division. I really thought that they'd be doing better. If you guys recall my prediction video, I had them rated, I think, number 4. And it hasn't really gone that way for them, unfortunately, but they're, again, looking to prove themselves. As for the other team here, we have NoPing, who has also had a pretty inconsistent season, this time having a much worse back half. They win their first series, which is actually their head-to-head matchup against Hokori, but after that, they would continue to lose 5 of their next 6 series. We first lose up against APU King of Kings, then Infamous, then Beastcoast, then Lava. They take down SG Esports, but of course, almost everyone took down SG Esports before losing to Thunder Predator in their final series, where they managed to take a game off of them. I will say that was rather surprising. Whether or not that was maybe Thunder Predator underestimating them or underperforming, I think that is a fair argument to suggest, given the fact that Thunder Predator has looked pretty flawless to this point. It was only a matter of time that they would have a game that would look like that, and Thunder Predator quickly snapped back and won the series and looked rather dominant doing so. But credit to NoPing, they did take a game off of the top dog of the region currently. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about this series. Who do you guys think wins it? Of course, the loser of this goes down to the lower division, so pretty high stakes here. Speaking of high stakes, although technically not high stakes, just some pretty big teams facing off against one another, the second upper division tiebreaker we have in South America that is going to be taking place immediately after this one at 6 p.m. on January 23rd, we have the tie between Beastcoast and King of Kings. And this tiebreaker just shows that the seeding in the 4-team playoff regional bracket is actually going to matter. Both of these teams are lined up to make it to that regional playoff. Losing this series will not get them booted out of that, but evidently they wouldn't be having these tiebreakers if the seeding wasn't actually important. So taking a look at it, we have on December 3rd, Beastcoast actually won their head-to-head matchup. And one thing I'll say that's a little weird is after writing all of these, all of the teams that are facing off against one another in this division, or in these two divisions, played against each other as their first series of the tour on December 3rd. All on December 3rd. It was a little spooky when I was writing this out. But yeah, it was Beastcoast that won that series up against King of Kings. They won 2-0. Now, that wasn't the cleanest 2-0. I do remember watching that, and King of Kings had a lot of really good moments in that series. It was a very back-and-forth series, especially that first game. But Beastcoast doesn't end up being the one that takes it. And very similar to Hellraisers in my preview that I did just before this one, Beastcoast start off the season very strongly, which, you know, opposite to Hellraisers is what we expected from Beastcoast. These guys are known to be the top dogs of the region. They are known to be the best of the region, at least if not in their own region, then against some other teams. And they show it. They take down Lava 2-0, Hokori 2-0, and NoPing. So already at the start of the season, they have won 8 games in a row without dropping a single one, and they're looking fantastic. Then on January 7th, they suffered their first loss up against Infamous, which kind of came out of nowhere. Infamous, to their credit, played fantastically. Beastcoast having a bit of a slip-up of a series, but, you know, it's what you expect, especially in a region as volatile as South America. We're always subject to a lot of inconsistency, even in the best teams, it seems. But then they followed that up with a loss to SG Esports, which was the most alarming. SG Esports, like I said, lost every single series that they played this year, or this tour, except the one against Beastcoast. And Beastcoast, it really just looked like they weren't giving them enough credit. And in the game that they do take off of SG Esports in that series, it really just looked like the Whisper Show, which feels like the common theme nowadays when Beastcoast are having that inconsistency. Whenever they do manage to find success in that inconsistency, it's because Whisper has them on their back. But when they are playing their best, every member on the team is playing fantastic. So that was a little surprising. And then again, they had that 2-0 loss to Thunder Predator just last night, which it was a pretty rough loss. Game one, sure, the ending was a lot closer than I think a lot of people would have expected. You know, it is in classic South American fashion, just having a super dramatic ending to a rather one-sided game. But game two was quite a handily loss. And yeah, Beastcoast has been on a real downward spiral a little bit, and we'll have to see if they're able to bounce back. Again, not a whole lot on the line in this tiebreaker. Just a matter of seeding for the 4-team regional playoffs. But it should still be an important series for Beastcoast to at least prove that they're not on too much of a downward spiral right now. For those of you that are excited for my power rankings, just know that Beastcoast has taken a pretty big dip in that, and we'll have to see when I end up doing that. I believe Monday is when I'm going to be doing my power rankings. So yeah, let me know who you guys think wins this series in the comments down below. And finally, moving on to North America, where we only have one series of tiebreakers remaining, that being in the lower division. Again, the upper division matches have already taken place. My review for North America is going to be coming out rather soon. And that is going to be the two-way tie for second and third place. Again, the last spot to make it into the upper division between KBU.US and DogChamp. This is going to be taking place on January 23rd, 2022, obviously, at 3 p.m. Looking at the Tour 1 results, both of these teams kind of having very similar paths. KBU.US actually having a little bit of a rough start at the start of the season. Again, their first series was against DogChamp, which they won, but then they followed that up with two quick losses to 5-Rat Forstaff and The Cut, two teams that were also very, very strong in this division. The Cut notably going completely undefeated in this tour. But then they would follow that up with a nice little winning streak that they got going for themselves, taking wins over Magnus, 5-Man Midas, Electronic Boys, and Felt. As for DogChamp, again, they start off their season losing to KBU.US, but after that point, they would only lose one more series, that being to the undefeated team, The Cut, who went 7-0. They took down teams like Electronic Boys, 5-Man Midas, and Felt, and although it took them 3 games to win those series, they were winning those deciding matches, those deciding game 3s. They then took down Magnus 2-0. Again, they lose to The Cut 2-1, but they still took a game off of them, and then they end off strong with a nice 2-0 win over 5-Rat Forstaff, which got them into this position. That matchup was actually going to be the decider for who was going to be fighting in this tiebreaker. We already knew that there were going to be tiebreakers. It was just a matter of who won that last series, and DogChamp was the one that won it. So again, kind of a lot on the line here. Guaranteed spot for upper division for whoever wins this tiebreakers. It is a best of 3. Who do you guys think wins it? KBU.US won the first series, but that was all the way back on December 3rd, just like the rest of these, as I mentioned. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I've got some reviews coming up tonight for Western Europe and Southeast Asia. If you don't want to miss that, feel free to like, subscribe, share, all the fun stuff. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you guys later tonight.